Hey guys, how are you? I personally am just chilling, trying out a live stream idea. I'm kind of interested in doing something like this, possibly on a regular basis when the spring anime season starts, because I've had this really constant idea of I'd really love to be able to review anime that are coming out weekly, and I just don't have the time to actually record and edit, mostly the editing part, videos every single week. At least right now, that doesn't sound plausible, what with already having weekly podcast episodes to do. So instead, I was thinking, well, what if I just did a live stream every week to talk about whatever weekly anime we're watching, mostly because I want to do something like that for Fruits Basket. And what gave me the idea really is watching Attack on Titan this season and being like, I wish I had the platform to just talk about every single episode, which I mean I do. So I just didn't have the consistency. And so I know Fruits Basket is one that I could talk about forever and ever and ever and ever. So I feel like that would be a fun one to try that with. So this is my experiment, because what I think would be kind of fun, instead of me just sitting here talking to you, is to maybe draw something while I sit here talking to you. I am very new to Photoshop. I don't know that much about Photoshop. I also haven't used my Wacom tablet in years. I am primarily an iPad Procreate user as of now. And so this will also be a fun experiment to see if I can try to try to actually draw anything on this stupid tablet anymore, because I honestly I don't know if I can. I know just the few times I tried, I'm like, ooh, it's been a while for sure. But yeah, I think that would be kind of a fun way to make this at least somewhat interesting, and not just wow, Kelly, I don't want to sit here and stare at you talk, but actually do something. And maybe I could, if we were doing it for Fruits Basket, draw all the Fruits Basket characters over the course of however long the season is, especially since it would be fun, because this is the last season of Fruits Basket and a lot of things are going to happen, and I would definitely have a lot to say. So that's kind of the idea. I don't know for this specific video if I'm going to keep this on the channel or if I'm not, since this is just a trial and error and trial video. But yeah, that's at least the kind of idea of what I'm trying to do here. Just to give myself a good idea of how this works. And I think it would be really fun to try doing more consistently. Also because, yeah, it's just so much less work than the idea of making a full-on like video where I like have to edit things and add the, you know, video overlay and et cetera, where I can just sit here and blab and, you know, make a fool of myself live instead of editing. But it is less work for me in the long run. And it would be fun, I think. Also, it would be chill. It would just be chill because I would much rather do something more relaxed and laid back and fine than something that's like high energy crazy. Because, you know, on the podcast, I can be kind of high energy crazy a lot, but that's hard to sustain for long periods of time. I think Wirt here is nervous, as he usually is. And excuse the many like quiet times when I'm just like, wait, where are my buttons for Photoshop? I've never used Photoshop. Back in the day, I used to just use this Wacom tablet. And I actually just used whatever program was provided with the tablet. They have a special like ArtLight or something program, which was fine. I mean, that's how I learned digital art, is just by this random program that they had. But yeah, since I upgraded to an iPad, whew, it's a game changer. My process is so much faster with an iPad and with Procreate. But also it's just like, it's been so long since I've used this tablet, so I don't remember how it works. Add to that the fact that I have never used Photoshop before, really. And so I don't know what anything does. Well, you know, I know what things do. Let me rephrase. I know how these programs work. I just don't know where all the buttons are. So it's like, wait, where is this? Where's my new layer? Where is everything? So for now, we're just going to sketch. Thank goodness for the undo button. That's my favorite thing about digital art, is that you can just click undo, goodbye, which is great, which is just, that's the way it should be. Whenever I'm back to traditional art, I will seriously try to use the undo button and then realize that I don't have one. I have to actually erase if I want to erase. Oh, the joys. So yeah, this isn't going to be mainly art talk, but I will definitely do some art talk if people enjoy that. Currently, I'm attempting to draw a Wirt, if that wasn't clear, because it's not really that clear right now. Just because he's kind of one of my go-to characters to doodle, along with Varian, so maybe I'll do a Varian here too. Just because those are the ones I've drawn a lot. So it's easy if I'm, you know, doing something new like this and I need to just pull a random character out of my butt and try something. Wow, I'm telling you, it is so hard to like have any good line strokes with this tablet. Okay, let's just go back to what I was saying with Fruits Basket. I think it would be really fun to, yeah, just kind of like have a space to like, oh my gosh, can you believe this happened? Because I wish I kind of had that with Attack on Titan right now, because especially because I don't have anyone else that I know that is currently watching it. I like really want to be able to be like, oh my goodness, this thing is happening. and just freak out about it with people. And so just like pre-planning to have something like that for, that's not a good lasso, is it? Just pre-planning to have something like that for Fruits Basket would be really cool to me. I think that would be cool. How do I undo my lasso? Okay, there it is. See, like I'm saying, I know what the buttons do, but I don't know where they are. Okay. Where's the eraser? Oh, there it is. So, but talking about Attack on Titan, I won't spoil anything because there are so many spoilers that are like, whoa. If you do watch Attack on Titan, y'all know what's going on. It's absolutely bonkers right now. Basically, Attack on Titan is surprise after surprise after surprise. That's basically the whole anime. And then they've been dangling this carrot in front of our noses for 8 years, and then they finally, at the end of the last season, gave us the carrot. They gave us the carrot. And now we're trying to swallow the carrot, and we're choking. That's the best quick explanation of what it feels like to be an Attack on Titan fan right now. And it's crazy bonkers. It's crazy. And it is one of my favorite anime at the moment, but I also know that's just because I'm watching it right now. And whether or not it remains one of my favorites of all time is going to be how it ends, which nobody knows because the manga hasn't finished yet either. But if it ends poorly, like not if it ends, you know, sad, or if like, you know, for example, a possibility is that like everyone dies. That's not what I mean by if it ends poorly. I mean if it ends poorly as in it doesn't feel concluded, like there was no final moral, not even a moral, but like a point to it, you know? Like, I feel like the artists have to have at least something they're trying to say with their work, you know? Did they get the point across, etc. As of right now, I feel like the point is very firmly getting across, but if it ends unsatisfactorily to like the rest of it, you know what I mean? Like if it just doesn't wrap things up in a way that I'm satisfied with, then it'll be a bummer because then it won't be my favorite anime. Full Metal Alchemist is my favorite anime at the moment, but Attack on Titan really is up there, especially after all this craziness. I'll say that even this last season here, I'm even a little bit like, this is almost too much, if that makes sense. Like, I'm almost like, you're giving us too much crazy. I don't know if I'm following. There's a lot still that we don't know. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is this whole show, the foundation is you don't know anything. And then they finally give us information and it's like, you still don't know anything. You think you know, you don't. And the show relies on the fact that we need, like, the audience is being strung along, needing more information. So we're getting a lot of information, a lot of exposition right now, especially since there was one big battle at the beginning of the season, and now it's not like that anymore. The battles are done, and we're just trying to figure out what Aaron is doing. But yeah, It's a good show. It's a great show. It is one of my highlights of the week when I get to sit down Sunday afternoons and see what crazy things are happening in Attack on Titan this week. But yeah, it could all be ruined at the end if they mess it up. Which I will admit, shows like Great Pretender did that. You know, like that's how you ruin an anime. Is a really great show that I was really wanting to recommend to everybody, and then just the last few episodes just totally ruin it, and that ruins the whole experience for me, and I no longer really want to recommend it to people. So I just don't want that to happen to Attack on Titan. I want it to be at least somewhat well done. I have high hopes, but then again, maybe I shouldn't, because that's when I get disappointed, is when I have hopes. Isn't that always the way? Or as Over the Garden Wall was, Greg would say, ain't that just the way? This isn't turning out as bad as I thought. It's definitely not the quality that I get in my normal work now, but I'm not complaining. It looks like work. I like drawing really big ears. I find it very fun. What is the other thing I wanted to say? I don't know. We were talking about Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, man. That's it. It's just crazy. And honestly, if you haven't watched it and you're wanting to, now's the time. Get on board that train, because, once the final chapters come out, it's going to be just all hell will break loose. Even I'm concerned about being on the internet, because I don't read the manga, because it is actually more gruesome than the anime. And I'm not about to handle that. But I'm tempted to, just because I'm going to have a real hard time staying away from spoilers. So if you haven't watched it and are planning to, I would recommend doing that before big spoilers become apparent. Although I do wonder, what is it like being an anime fan right now, having not watched Attack on Titan? Are there even, well, yeah, I know there are some out there who haven't. Because I feel like you would know everything anyway, because there are just spoilers everywhere. Is that true? Am I incorrect in assuming that? Because I would assume that it's all spoiled for you. Maybe? I don't know. Let me know. Are you one of those few people? An anime fan specifically. Are you in the anime fandoms but have not seen Attack on Titan? And no shame either if you're like, nah, not for me. Because it is not everyone's piece of cake, that's for dang sure. And I am definitely a proponent of, there are different animated shows for everybody. Attack on Titan does not have to be your jam, because it's pretty intense. Yeah. I said it on the podcast at least before, but it took me like 2 or 3 years to get past the first episode. Like back when it was just coming out, maybe the first season had been out, or first season was coming out. I heard a lot about it. It was after the first season came out, but everyone was going crazy. That's when things were really crazy for the Attack on Titan fandom. I was like, all right, okay, this is some popular show. I'll give it a shot. Nope. Nope. No spoilers, but first episode's really hard to get through. Because just like a lot of anime, our protagonists go through a lot of crazy stuff. that propels them forward into their adventure. And yeah, it's pretty intense. So no shame if that's you and you're like, not my cup of tea, because guess what? Here's the other thing that's coming out right now. Horimiya. Forget Attack on Titan. Horimiya is the best anime of the season. No contest at all. It is perfection. Absolute perfection. Did I say that already? It's perfection. It's beautiful and heartwarming and just so pure. And like, we just don't get this kind of like happy, fun. I mean, it's not all happy and fun. Like, it's a drama, but yeah, I mean, you know, Titans aren't going to come around eating people. It's not that kind of anime. It's just a regular, like, high school drama romance anime, slice of life, chill, like, and it's like real. It's like the great thing about, okay, a lot of shows will be like high school romance. It's all about who are they going to end up with, or will they end up together? What if blah, blah, blah. Horimiya is like, no, this is about a couple that's basically already established after a first episode. So it's about the journey of these kids' relationship rather than their journey of them coming together. Like, well, it is a journey of them coming together because they, you know, still get to know each other and all that stuff. But it's so different, so different from other shows like it. And it's just doing so much new stuff, like, to me at least. Even though it's old, it's a really old story. It's from, I don't even know. There's an original, like 2007 or something crazy like that. It came out as a web comic online somewhere. And then it was so popular, they actually started an actual printed manga of it, which is just wrapping up or did just wrap up or something. And now it's an anime. And I'm really, really tempted to read the manga because apparently there's a lot that happens in the manga that they kind of, you know, have to bulldoze through a little bit in the show to like keep things going. But I don't know. It's just such a great show. I cannot recommend it highly enough. If you need something that isn't Attack on Titan craziness and just so good. It's like, Emma and I talked about it on a What You Watchin', but it's like, how do we even deserve this? How do we deserve this beautiful, beautiful show? Because it's just so refreshing. And like I said in that What You Watchin' as well, I'm like, I still am. I'm like nervous something terrible is going to happen because it's so it just brings me so much joy. And I'm so used to shows right now, like, you know, The Promised Neverland and all that stuff just being super devastating all the time. And so I'm like, wait, is something bad going to happen? This is too nice. This is too good. Too much good stuff is happening to these characters. Shouldn't there be something that bad happens? That's where my brain is at, everybody. Something bad has to happen. No, nothing bad has to happen. It can just be teenagers trying to figure out life. And that's what it is. And it's wonderful. So, I mean, I know I recommend a lot of things, but if that sounds like your cup of tea, guys. I mean, if you're like me and you're sick of watching Miraculous Ladybug, this is the opposite of Miraculous Ladybug. They actually end up together and actually hold hands. It's so perfect. Oh my goodness, I could talk about Horimiya forever. Horimiya, everybody. Horimiya. If you're not already watching it, get on it. get going. It is so good. Still coming out weekly. I don't know how many episodes there are going to be. Probably like 12 or 16 is my assumption. But we're already through over half the season, I believe. So, there you go. Rory Mia is so good. Okay, let's see. How do we make new layers in this thing? New layer? Oh, I think I have a button for that actually on my tablet. New layer, yes. Oh, this is the, I just drew on the background layer. Can I not put this below that? I can't. See, I'm learning things already. If you didn't know, we are listening to Breath of the Wild relaxing music with rain. When I go back and rewatch this little test video, we'll see if I can actually hear that music or not. So I hope you can hear it. Otherwise, I can turn it up or turn it down. Maybe it's too loud. I don't know. Okay, so with this layer, I am turning the opacity down because I just want to add more shading stuff, but I don't want it, not even shading. Maybe I should just color it. Should we try coloring? No, this is going to be over that, so I can't do that. Oh, the issues of drawing on the background layer. See, now we know though, because, well, I guess if the opacity is down low enough, it won't matter. Maybe. Okay, wait. Undo, 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 undo. 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 Okay. Yeah, let's try it. Let's just try it. We're trying things. That's what we're doing here. And what else? Oh, I wanted to talk about Raya and the Last Dragon because that's coming out in a few weeks. I haven't been to the movie theater since Lupin the Third, back in the fall, whenever that was. Excuse my phone going off. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited just to go to the movie theater again. I have basically zero expectations. That's a lie. I actually have low expectations for Raya and the Last Dragon because I feel like we see the same, we've been seeing the same sort of stuff from Disney for a long time. Granted, they've got a formula that works. Can't argue with that. I think Raya herself seems like a super, super awesome character, and I want this movie to work because she looks amazing and like more representation, more just BA awesomeness. But also, even from a stylistic, artistic standpoint, it just looks like every other Disney movie that comes out, and Disney doesn't like to experiment. That's how I feel about Disney in general, and how I felt about it for a while. Like just everything they come out is just, well, there's a Disney movie. So I want to be surprised, but I'm going with low expectations. Also because Frozen, I had such high expectations when Frozen came out that I've now like totally changed my view on following movies that closely anymore because I followed the production of that like crazy. And then it came out and I was disappointed. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to see it and not going crazy. That's about all I can do. Is this even working? What is happening? Oh, I'm on the erase tool. So anyway, those are some generic thoughts about Raya. I know a lot of people are talking about, well, maybe not a lot of people, but I've heard people talk about the dragon itself and the dragon character. I don't know. Even just thinking about this movie, I'm just like, it just seems like the same thing. It's already reminding me of Soul and Moana as like a buddy movie. And I don't know. I just want something more inventive. Maybe I'm needy. But oh well, how it goes. But, oh yeah, I was talking about the style. The style looks exactly like Frozen. It looks like she could live in the Frozen universe or the Tangled universe. I'm sure you've heard people talk about this before. I am rehashing old territory. But basically, from Frozen on, it just feels like everyone lives in the same universe. And, I mean, it is the Disney universe, I guess. But from an artistic standpoint, and it's like, I know they do some things differently, a little differently. I get it. And they put a lot of thought and effort into everything they do. I'm sure they're being very culturally aware for Raya and the Last Dragon. But yeah, when everything looks the same, I don't know. You just know, like, I guess you could argue, even as I say this, that like, well, you know a Studio Ghibli film when you see it because it's the same. Like a Miyazaki film is going to look like a Miyazaki film. But that's even more specific because that makes sense because it's one director. Like one director has one style. Like that makes sense. Like one artist has one style. But this is just Disney manufacturing. That's what it feels like. It feels like a corporation manufacturing something just down the normal pipeline, like, you know, robotic almost. And I know that's not true. It's a ton of really, really creative people putting together really new and innovative things to create a new film. But from the outside, that's just how it feels a lot of the time. It's just the way it feels. It feels very just manufactured. And I could be wrong. It's not like I have anything wrong with Frozen or, well, Frozen 2 is better, but like Frozen 2 or Moana, like those are really, really good movies. I just always wish, you know, be a little more creative. That's just how I feel. Because like you can look at Miyazaki's a good example. That's like one director. You see that director, you know it's that director, right? And then, you know, looking at, and granted, like Ghibli has been trying to keep the same look for a while because they fall into the same problem that Disney has. Is like, oh, we know this works, so we'll just keep doing this to make profit. And then you have other studios and other directors trying to mimic the Ghibli look or mimic the Disney look. But that's not, it just feels like it halts creative progress, I guess, when everyone's trying to do what Disney is doing or Ghibli is doing. And that's not fun. Because if you look at like other films, I'm trying to think of good examples that aren't trying to fall into the Disney trap. So just look at DreamWorks. You've got, even at the, well, let's just, ignore 2D movies for a second in DreamWorks and just think about like How to Train Your Dragon versus Kung Fu Panda versus Madagascar, right? Those are 3 CGI 3D movies that are all very different for just very different. And they have different styles. Like you look at the animals of Madagascar, they're very blocky. They're very geometric. And then you look at the, dragons from How to Train Your Dragon, and they're like much more realistic shapes, much more natural feeling. Because they have their own voices, their own style in these films. And that's what I'm saying with Disney, is it just feels like they're not expressing different styles. It's just the same Disney style. And I know that isn't entirely true, because I know that they are creating they've got a lot of artists creating very specific things. And, we did a nice deep dive, really, really critical look at like Moana versus Tangled, or Tangled versus Frozen. You'll definitely see like clearly architecture is different, their culture is different. Like, yes, absolutely, not a problem. But look at the face shape, like the people don't look different. You look at a horse in Frozen, look at Maximus. It just is too much. Too similar. Let's see something new, Disney. Get outside of the bubble that you've created for yourself. And that's just me being really, really critical. And I'm still going to go, and I'm going to really enjoy it, I'm sure. Again, I'm going to enjoy it just because I'm looking forward to being in a theater again. So, not worried about that, that's for sure. I'm going to have a good time. Especially because I don't know anything going in. I know nothing, and I'm trying to stay away from discourse about it online. I know that's not entirely plausible for me a lot of time, but I'm trying, because I don't want anything spoiled, and I just want to go in and have a good time. And I'm sure I will. I'm sure it'll be good. Even if it doesn't become my favorite thing ever, it'll be a good movie. And tides me over until Demon Slayer. Oh, we lasted almost 40 minutes before I mentioned Demon Slayer. Can you believe? That's almost all I talk about nowadays. If I could, every single episode of the podcast right now would just be, so, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer? It's just because this is definitely one where I'm not following my rule of not getting my hopes up too high. I really should manage my expectations, because I've been talking about it so much. I've been hyping it up so much that it could absolutely be terrible, and I'm going to it could even just be mediocre, and I will be devastated. But also part of me is even if it's mediocre, I'll probably still enjoy it at this point. I think for me, I'm not expecting too much from the story necessarily. I never am with Demon Slayer. What I am expecting, what I do have my hopes up for, which could be bad, is I just want a theatrical experience where I'm just taking in, absorbing just absolutely breathtaking cinematography, 3D and 2D animation, and watching Demon Slayer, the series, is like, it's movie quality. Like, the show is movie quality. And so for them to have an actual movie, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to be fantastic. I mean, even if it was just the same quality as the TV show, which usually anime are pretty low quality. They're on a budget, okay? Anime, like, okay, I don't have specific budget numbers in front of me, but basically, for like the cost of one episode of like a normal show that you watch on television, like, I don't know, just pick a show. I know it varies a lot. Like, Game of Thrones is like a bajillion, not a bajillion, but a lot of money per episode, right? And maybe some other shows are definitely less than that. But like, again, I'll have to look up the specifics, but I've looked at this before. Like, one episode of like Hollywood television could pay for an entire season of anime. Like, it is very cheap to make, which is partially a problem, actually, and animators in Japan need to be paid more. But in general, it is very cheap to make an anime show. And so for them to be able to do what they did with the show on an anime budget is absolutely amazing. And now they have a movie. They have a movie budget. I cannot express how excited I am to see this and to see it in a theater. That's my big thing. I have to see it in a theater. I don't care if I need to like rent out the entire theater space. Like, I'm going. I'm doing it. And yeah, I mean, it'll be in theaters. That's why it's taking so long. It's because they know it's going to sell well in the US. And so it's not coming out in the US until they feel they can make enough money, because we have everything closed right now. I mean, you can still go to theaters, but it's very restricted. Speaking of movie theaters, I had this conversation with a friend the other day that was like, are movie theaters going to die now because of the pandemic? And I said no, because there's always going to be crazy people like me who will pay to have the movie theater experience. Not everyone wants to sit on their couch and watch a new movie. I like it sometimes. Like, I enjoyed that for Soul. Like, I enjoyed just being able to be like, oh, this is out now. I'm going to just see that right here on my couch. But for the most part, I love going to the movie theater. And yeah. And then, like, my original thought was like, oh, well, movie theaters could just turn into like, you know, stage theaters. Like, instead of, it could become more of a nonprofit thing, I guess, instead of a for-profit thing. That was kind of my initial idea. But then something crazy happened. The new Spider-Man movie was announced, coming out this December, only in theaters. That's at least what I read. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if that's going to come out only in theaters, then, because I'm sure they make more money that way, then, I mean, no brainer, right? Like, movie theaters aren't going to die, because that's the way they want to be able to sell it, you know? I don't know if I'm making any sense. And now I'm switching brushes, so excuse me while I'm figuring out what brush I used last time. What I'm trying to say is that if Marvel is doing something like this, everyone else will be too. So no, movie theaters are not going to die because they make more money when they can release movies in theaters. I'm sure there will probably now be more and more studios who are willing to have movies available for streaming. But Spider-Man just proved that that's not going to be the norm necessarily. Studios are first and foremost wanting their movies in theaters because they make more money that way, which is good. I mean, I just like the movie theater culture. I like the experience. It's just different. You don't have any distractions. You're there to see a film. I don't know. I know some people who like they just talk over the movie, and I can't do that. I can't handle it. So I need to be somewhere where it's just like socially acceptable. Like it's just assumed that no one's gonna be. And if they are, I have the social right to shush them. And I've done that before in a theater. I'm not afraid to be like, shut up. I paid money to watch this without distractions, so stop being a distraction. Don't get in the way of me and the show that I want to watch. And there's something just about like experiencing it with other people, like not even necessarily friends, but like I go to the movies by myself a lot. And like, yeah, I don't want people talking over the movie, but I love people reacting to the movie. Like you get to laugh with a random group of strangers basically, or cry or whatever it is. Animated movies especially are super fun to see in theaters because you got all the like, especially if they're family films, you get to listen to what all the kids say about stuff, and you understand and then you can hear what's funny to kids and what's not or whatnot, because you know me, I don't like Olaf, but when a kid laughs at Olaf, then I think Olaf is great. So anyway, movie theaters are not dying. They're coming back. You know, I've decided that I kind of don't like this layer of shadow at all. Maybe it's just too, whoa, what is happening? What did I just do? Okay, well, I just did something. That was weird. Maybe I just changed the opacity. Maybe. You know, we'll just go with that. Sure, okay. So I'm very excited to go to the movie theater again for Raya and the Last Dragon. I really was hoping, especially earlier in the year, that I'd be going to see Demon Slayer before this. Especially it's going to be in theaters sooner for Australia, New Zealand. But I guess we'll just wait. If it comes out in March, that's even better because that's my birthday month. But I'll take what I can get. So, anyway, there's Wirt. What do you think? That took about 1 million times longer than it would on Procreate. It definitely took my time. But still, that usually does not take as long with my normal tools. But still fun. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do this evening. This was really fun. I hope you enjoyed listening to me blather on and on about anime and movies. Let me know what you're watching, what you're enjoying. Are you looking forward to Raya and the Last Dragon? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Horimiya or Attack on Titan? And what are your thoughts on this stream? Let me know if this is something that sounds interesting. I am going to continue to maybe try this a few more times, and then we'll see if I want to stream more regularly on a regular basis to talk about Fruits Basket when it comes out sometime in April. So thank you for joining me. We have, let's see, I'm uploading all the podcast episodes to YouTube here. Hopefully going to be done with that, in another 5 weeks or so. And new episodes, podcast episodes every Tuesday. Next week we'll be talking about the anime awards, the Crunchyroll anime awards. And after that will be Lilo and Stitch. So get ready for that. And in the meantime, stay tuned and stay animated. Bye, guys.